Well, good morning and welcome to July the 12th. It is Tuesday, and apparently I am here by myself right now, but we're running a little bit behind schedule this morning, and that's my fault. So we're a little behind, but I am here nonetheless. Welcome to Tuesday, July the 12th. This is going to be a shorter call because I've got to go to pick up a vehicle and get on an airplane, head to Georgia this morning. Good morning, Anna. How are you? Hope you are looking forward to an awesome day. It's good to see you, or at least good to know that you're here. You guys know the drill. When you show up and click in live, go ahead and tell me you're here with a good morning comment, and hopefully we'll get us a little crowd this morning. I want to talk about, y'all, this book is so amazing that there's some other pieces in there that I do want to talk about because I think it's so important. To tell this story so that we can pull things out of that to make our lives and our businesses, whatever. There's so many learning points here in this book that I want to share with you guys. It's just a great book. You got to get it. So, I guess Lynn, we're waiting on Lynn, waiting on Millie. She said she was coming. So, let's see. I'm on who else we can have showing up. But Anna, what's going on with you? Anything fun? Anything exciting? Did you have a good day yesterday? Hope so. We need to start. I guess I need to start getting up, getting this thing going earlier, so we can get our regular crowd of people in here. I don't know if it notified anybody or not that we were going live. Good. All right. Well, I know we don't have a lot of time, so I'm gonna get going. I've got to leave here at 8:30 y'all's time, 7:30 here to go pick up a car from the shop before we go to the airport. So I don't have a lot of time, and I do want to talk about this because I think it's so super important. Good morning, Mags. Mag's about to bust. She's trying to wheel a baby out right now. She want to leave Halston alone. Halston's in there trying to finish cooking. Maggie's trying to get her out. I'm just teasing. Leave that baby alone. Good morning, Alex Martin. Welcome back. Alex Martin back from the beach. I'm sure she's all tan and hope re-energized and ready to rock. Awesome. Alex, y'all's family pictures at the beach were so cute. Those boys are adorable. Love those kiddos. All right, so I'm going to get started. So I'm going to tell you the story, and it's a story that's in this book, and it's Brent, the author, Brent Gleason, talking about his story and talking about how he ended up in the Navy, in the SEAL teams, and you know how things kind of progressed the way they progressed and what happened, and there's a couple of things to note, and there's a chapter in here where he talks about taming the tiger, which is what I put on here today, Tame the Tiger. And so Brent went to SMU. He went, this author of this book, went to college, got a degree, got into finances. He was doing financial analysis or something like that, and then decided there was something bigger that he wanted to do, and decided to be a SEAL. And so you'll read in the beginning part of this book kind of the mindset that he has now, but he said that was not the mindset he had in college. He was in a fraternity. He played rugby in college. So he was active and he did some things. He was on the swim team in high school. So he had a little athletic background that he drew from. But one of the things that he said when he decided to go to, and he said, you know what? I want to go do something bigger. I want to serve my country. I'm gonna get out of this financial analyst position, and I'm gonna go into the Navy, and I'm gonna go be a SEAL. But he said, when I made that decision, when I decided to go be a SEAL, nothing else mattered. Nothing else mattered. And he said, so at that point, when I decided to go be a SEAL, when I put that goal and that focus and that thing out in front of me that I wanted more than anything else, everything else had to go. And he said, I saw so many people in my life who let distractions, who let other things get in their way, who let other things keep them from their goal, who let other things stop them from achieving all that they wanted to achieve. And he he goes into a story about this tiger, and that this tiger, there's a section of Russia, on the eastern side of Russia toward China. There's sort of an area that, and I guess this is true. It's well known. I Googled it and it said it was right. Morning, Millie. Morning, Millie. There's a section of Russia that's close to China that has tigers, and these big, huge tigers that are like Siberian tigers, and they're not like regular Indian orange and black tigers, but they're these monster, huge tigers. And that there was a hunter who had gone out into the woods, had seen this tiger, and a tiger had killed something that the hunter needed for his family. So the hunter shot the tiger. Well, didn't kill the tiger, but the tiger ran up into the woods, ran away. The story goes, the hunter took the tiger's kill back to his house, and so took the fruits of the tiger's labor and went back to his house and enjoyed the fruits of the tiger's labor at his house. Well, as the story goes, the tiger didn't die. This tiger stalked the hunter and began to follow the hunter around, and began to get closer and closer to the hunter. And the way that he stalked the hunter was pretty uncanny, because they say that tigers typically don't go after people like this, but that the tiger had a vendetta, had some revenge to get the person, because the person took the tiger's spoils, the person injured the tiger, and the tiger was going to get back at the person, get back at the hunter. So the tiger stalks the hunter for a long period of time. I mean, upwards of months, until he finally takes the opportunity, and he kills the hunter. The tiger kills the hunter, turns him into a little bloody stump, and leaves him to die. And didn't eat him, just killed him, and got his vengeance. So the moral and the reason it's in this story and in this chapter, and the reason I'm bringing it up is that's temptation. And a lot of times we know how to resist big temptation, right? We know how to resist life-altering temptation. And I always said this when I was a police officer. There was a time in my life where I wasn't a wonderful person. And there was a time in my life where I did a lot of things that I'm not proud of, and that put me on a really bad path and caused my family heartache. And I did a lot of things that probably should have probably destroyed me. But God, even through my personal decisions, and even through my acting like a dumb butt, and even my selfishness at that point, God saw through that and had a better plan for me, and now we're all through that. But my point is that temptation lies everywhere. It always does. Those tigers are always in the woods watching us. And I don't know if this is scientifically true or not, so don't, but in the book he says, we have the ability to resist temptation, and we have a certain, he calls it a muscle to resist temptation, and that muscle will over time get like other muscles and get tired and get fatigued, and that's when we succumb to temptation. Now, I know what you're thinking, because when we hear the word temptation, we always automatically go to the really bad stuff, right? The really bad stuff that blows our life up. But my contention is that there are other temptations that do almost the same thing as the really bad temptations, and that these other temptations, while necessarily won't destroy your life, won't ruin your marriage, won't put you in a rehab center, they will, in fact, destroy pieces and parts of who you are. And that's the reason I'm bringing it up, because I want us to focus on our goals. I want us to focus on our achievement. I want us to focus on the direction we're going. I want us to focus on doing the things we set out to do. When Brent Gleason decided he was going to go be a Navy SEAL, he said, I had to put away everything else. The temptation to go play poker, the temptation to go have a beer with the boys, the temptation to not go work out, the temptation to not train on Tuesday, the temptation to not do the things I know I needed to do to get me to the goal that I wanted to get to. I had to learn to resist those temptations. Good morning, Miss Lynn. So my contention to you, and what I'm saying is as I'm speaking, anything that you do that's outside the attainment of your goal is possible. It could be a temptation. Anything you do outside of the attainment of your goal, outside of the path, the work, the journey toward achieving a particular goal, anything that you do that takes you off that path, you're succumbing to temptation. Because when it's time to prospect, if Coach Burt's sitting in your house and he says it's time to prospect, if you worked for Coach Burt and Coach Burt says the first 2 hours of your day, you got to prospect. You got to go out and find new business. You got to go out and find new people to talk to about real estate. Those are the first 2 hours of your day. And he wasn't watching you for those 2 hours, but he set aside those first 2 hours for you to go do that. And in those 2 hours where you are prospecting, you had a couple, 2 or 3 different breaks where you had 10 minutes to fluff off. You had 10 minutes to go look at TikTok, 10 minutes to go smoke a cigarette, 10 minutes to go have a drink of water, 10 minutes to go do something else. But inside that time frame when you were supposed to be focused on going and getting new business, you had those 10-minute blocks scheduled. If at any point in the 50 minutes prior to that 10-minute block, you decided, you know what, I'd rather do something else. I'd rather go look at Facebook. I'd rather go think about daydream. I'd rather go doodle on a piece of paper. Those are temptations that you and I would succumb to. And we decide to go do something else outside of achieving the goal we set for ourselves, which was 2 hours of prospecting. So my contention is, yes, temptation is those big things that destroy people's lives, but it's also the little things. It's the little things, those little voices. It's the little voice that says, don't work that hard today. You worked really hard yesterday. You don't need to make all those phone calls today. You made all those phone calls yesterday. You really don't need to go over that table and talk to those people about real estate. That is certainly not your business. You don't need to go call that person today. You don't need to go exercise today. You don't need to read a book today. How many of you hear those voices? That is the voice of temptation. That is the tiger walking around the woods, watching you, getting closer and closer and closer, because every time you succumb to that little voice that says, don't worry about it, don't do it, every time you don't do it, every time you don't achieve that thing, it is taking you further and further and further from your goal. So every time you wake up in the morning and don't eat right, every time I wake up in the morning and I don't work out, every time you don't get up in the morning and you've got this time block set that I'm going to call this many people today, every time you don't do that, you are succumbing to temptation. And so the point of my call this morning is to encourage you. You have the support of an entire company around you. The Navy SEALs, Britt Gleason had a training buddy. He had a guy that wasn't going to let him fluff off. He had a guy who was not going to let him not achieve his goal. You have the same thing in Exit Realty Lake Country. Each of you have somebody in your life. They're there right now, and you're either taking advantage of that relationship or you're not. But you have people right now around you who will dive into whatever you want to dive into, who will grab you by the hand, who will call you on the phone, who will hold you accountable to do the things you should do. You should be doing that. All of you on this call, you're leaders. You should be holding other people accountable, not just as a mentor, but as an accountability partner. Because if you're not achieving your goals, if you're not achieving the level of success, the level of transactions, the level of income that you want, if you're not achieving that, the only person that's preventing that from happening is you. The only thing that's preventing this book from getting written is me. So I succumb to temptation and I decide, hey, I want to watch Ozark instead of writing on my book. I'd rather sleep till 6:30 than get up at 6 and have that extra 30 minutes to go do meditation. I'd rather sleep till 6:45 and not start the call till later because I'd rather sleep earlier in the morning. All those things are succumbing to temptation. That is letting the tiger win. That is letting the tiger, piece by piece, moment by moment, take little chunks of skin, little chunks out of you, okay? That's allowing the tiger to win. We've got to tame this temptation tiger. We've got to work on these muscles and have the wherewithal and the internal and the intestinal fortitude to do what we say we're going to do, achieve the goal we set for ourselves, and do the things that need to be done to get there. I saw something on TikTok, and I sent it to Jagger the other day, and it said, you can't get mad about the results you don't get if you've not done the work that needs to be done. You can't get upset about what you didn't achieve if you've not put in the time, given the effort, and done the damn thing to get to that point. Can't be mad about it.
Get upset of the results that you didn't get from the work that you did.
Jagger just woke up. He said, you can't get, what is it? Can't get upset by the results you didn't get by the work you didn't do. Can't get upset by the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do. You can't be upset by that. But there are people in your life right now. You have me. I have you. I've got, this has been in my head for quite a while. I've got to have somebody that is holding me accountable, that I'm embarrassed to call and say, dude, I didn't get up till 6 today. I didn't get up till 6 today. I've got to do better. It's in my head. I know it. I say it with my mouth. Heck, I've got recordings that say it over and over and over again where I've said to you, I've got to do better, yet I don't. I've got to tame the tiger. What in your life right now where do you need to tame the tiger? What in your life right now are you doing just a little bit? And you know you need to do more. You need to give more. There needs to be more effort. What in your business do you know you need to give more effort? You need to do more. What in your relationships? Where in your relationships you need to give more? You need to do more. You can't complain about the results you don't get if you don't do the work. Can't complain. But we'll sit back and we'll wonder, why does it look the way it looks? Why does it look like this again? Why does it do this again? And we're all looking for a quick fix. People will leave real estate companies and join another real estate company, hoping it's going to give them a fix. They'll go from one situation to another. They'll divorce this one to go to this one, and it's the exact same thing. There are all kinds of different things that we can do. The people on this call, the people that watch this call, all you guys, Maggie, Alex, Lynn, Millie, Anna, you guys are amazing human beings with amazing calls on your life. You're leaders in your communities, you're leaders in this company, you're leaders in your homes, and there are things that need to be done that only you can do. So my challenge is to you, tame the tiger, tame that temptation, stop letting the distractions control your day. Stop letting the distractions control your day. Be the captain of your ship. Be the captain of your day. You tell the distractions when it's okay. You tell the distractions when it's time for them to come in. Okay. Just a reminder, when Key was talking to us, Key Assad was talking to us months ago, he said, schedule your distractions. Schedule your distractions throughout the day. Get it out of your system. Okay. Get it out of your system. Take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, do what's got to be done, and then go on about your business. But the longer I'm 50 years old. I'm gonna be 53 or 51, 53. I'll be 53 in 3 years. I'll be 51 next year. You know, what's amazing is how perspective changes on life. I remember as a kid thinking by the time I was 53, I would be retired. I'd be done. Finished. Sitting back, chilling out, doing nothing. I can't imagine now at 50 not giving it another 30 years, 20 years. I mean, I can't imagine me not doing what we do now until I'm 70, 75. I mean, I just can't imagine it. I can't imagine not giving and seeing your faces and hearing your voices and just me being involved in your life and y'all in our lives. I mean, I just can't imagine not having that. And so, but I don't want it to be stagnant, right? I don't want it to be the same. I don't want it to be level. I want us to always be growing, always be challenging, always be going up. I want us to always be moving into that next space, that next level, that next strata, that next spot. I always want to be going that direction. I never want to be stagnant. I don't want you guys to be stagnant. I don't want you guys to get into a place where you're complacent, where you're mediocre. Because when you're mediocre, when you're complacent, that's when you get bored. When you get bored, the tiger seems to get closer and closer and closer. And sometimes when you get bored, that tiger turns into a little more vicious. He ramps up his game a little bit. He becomes more serious a little bit. You start to see things in your life that maybe I'm really bored here. This would be super fun. This would be super exciting. This is super whatever. And as that temptation ramps up, and that tiger starts to bring a little more ire, a little more violence, a little more just being nasty to the mix, that's when things really start to happen that could be bad. Okay. So figure out what you need to do. Again, we talked about this back in the end of June, about that 6-week action plan. And I told you guys, set some time aside to review your goals, Look at your dreams. Figure out what's making you go. Okay. Alex Martin and her husband Joseph just bought a beach house. I'm certain that is an achievement of a dream that they've had for quite a while. Michelle Tilson and her husband Jared, they bought a beach house. I'm sure that's an achievement of something they wanted to do for a long time. There are other things that you guys have done that are pretty big that are achieving some pretty cool dreams. But I'm going to challenge you to find you another one. Find you a big, audacious goal that you can look at and say, I am going to that. I am driving to that. And everything that I do during my day, every conversation that I have, everything that I am, I'm going to put into achieving that goal. You've heard some people call them big, audacious goals, the bags, or big ass goals and whatever. But find you something that lights your fire. Find you something that sets your soul on fire, and it's something that you begin to want more than anything else. And I challenge you to do that, because complacency is the enemy of progress. Mediocrity is a breeding ground for temptation tigers. Sitting in boredom, mediocrity, and complacency is a breeding ground for temptation tigers. Actually, probably more of not necessarily a breeding ground, but maybe a feeding field. That's where temptation tigers will come tear you apart, is in those fields of complacency, mediocrity, and boredom. Because then other real estate companies start to become attractive. Because then other people start to become attractive. Because then other situations start to become attractive. Because then other things that are more exciting than you have right now become more attractive. The temptation tiger loves the field of complacency. He loves to walk down the mountain, look over into the field of complacency, and people just sitting there with grass in their mouth. He loves seeing that. Your life is too important to be complacent. Your life is too important to be mediocre. Your life is too important to operate in boredom. So today, go into your 6-week action plan, go back into what we talked about a month ago, take some time to review your dreams, review your goals, review the things that give your heart some joy, gives your heart some passion, the thing that really revs you up inside. Go back and review those things and figure out the steps you need to take to go toward that goal, to go toward that dream, to go toward that thing. And do it with blinders on. Do it with blinders on and say, hey, babe, I got to work on this. I need an hour today to work on this. I need an hour on Thursday to work on this. No distractions. Good morning, Miss Brenda. I need an hour. I need to hold up for an hour and work on this. I need to do this. I'm telling you this. This is like I'm talking into a mirror today. Okay. Because I need this as much as you need this. That's one thing that we do. We are not going to lead from the back. We're going to lead from the front. This is something that we've got to do. Eliminate distractions. Tame the temptation tiger. And do the thing or things that need to be done consistently. He says the same thing I say all the time. It's the small things you don't do. The small things you do consistently over time that make the big impact. Small things. Relationships don't operate in a microwave. Real estate business doesn't operate in a microwave. I can't give you leads, and those leads turn into a blowed up, a full grown, mature real estate business. That's not the way that works. I can give you a couple of leads. I can help you learn how to work those leads, but you've got to get out and learn how to develop those leads. You've got to spend the time on the telephone, prospecting for new business. You've got to be on Boomtown, looking at your leads, making sure they all have emails, sending them text messages. You've got to market your properties. You've got to do those things on your own and not rely on me. There's only so much that we could do from a company standpoint for you guys. The rest is up to you. The rest is up to you. And it's usually really easy to see. It's usually pretty simple to see, really easy to see those who operate in distraction and those who operate in concentration. It's pretty easy to see the difference in the two. And sometimes we can stop it early. We can stop that momentum. But sometimes that momentum gets so big that we can't stand in front of the rock anymore. Right. So don't know where you are. I got to jump off here if we've got to run across town, but I don't know where you are right now. I don't know where you are in your business, where you are in your life, where you are in your relationships, where you are personally. But if there's anything, one thing that you want to achieve, tame the tiger. Tame the tiger. Embrace the suck. Get better at your craft. That's one thing I will say about somebody who's a perfectionist. It is very difficult to get a perfectionist to try something new. It's very difficult to get a perfectionist to go do something they're not very good at. Because they're not perfect at it, they won't go do it. Because they're not the best at it, they don't want to do it at all. So they avoid or miss the opportunities to get better at all because they can't have the end result immediately. They can't have perfection now. So instead of having perfection now, they choose not to do it at all. No progress. Okay? No progress. So I want you to progress on something today. I want you to pick something out, pick that goal, pick that dream, pick that one thing that you can put out there in front of you and that you can start walking toward. And spend time today undistracted, resisting the temptation to be distracted, resisting the temptation to get on TikTok, resisting the temptation to answer your phone when it rings. Y'all, do y'all remember this? And I do this to Christy all the time. I am old enough to realize and remember a day when I wasn't attached to a phone and a phone wasn't attached to me. And I don't remember, cannot recall a time when a phone wasn't answered and the person who made the phone call died on the other end of the line. I don't remember a time. I don't remember a time where the person on the other end of the line dialed 10 digits, called a person on the phone didn't get answered because we weren't connected to the phone. We were actually out enjoying life, doing other things. And this person didn't die. Everything was fine. Your telephone, I'm telling you, is Temptation Tiger. Your telephone is a walking around Temptation Tiger. I'm listening down on my right ear right now, over on the stairs, Jagger watching his telephone. Jagger's 10 years old. He wakes up in the morning. He comes downstairs. He did a little pass through the kitchen, open the fridge to see if there's anything to eat real quick, opens up the cabinet, anything I want to eat real quick, shuts the door, sits on the couch for a little bit, walks back up on the stairs, and is on his phone. 10, okay? That's what 10-year-olds do. Unfortunately. The phone is Temptation Tiger because you can turn your phone on and get 3 seconds, 4 seconds, a little burst of entertainment, and you will attach 3 to 4 seconds together, little bots of entertainment for an hour and a half. And you'll waste an hour and a half of your day, 2 hours of your day, watching these little 3, 4, 5 second TikTok videos. Okay? Tame the distraction tiger. Distraction is a temptation because distraction helps you to, if you're doing something that's a little enjoyable and you get distracted by something else, that's the more enjoyable piece of that. And so you'll stay over here in that little area of more enjoyment to get away from doing what you should be doing, which is driving towards your goal, driving towards your end result. Okay. So I just want to encourage you, get somebody to help you, get an accountability partner, recognize that temptation is lurking around you all the time, that temptation wants to pull you off your path. That little voice is the one telling you it's okay not to call those people today. It's okay not to have that pricing conversation. It's okay not to go work out. It's okay to not go walk, take a couple of walk laps around the neighborhood to go get some exercise. It's okay not to drink your water today. It's okay to go eat those things. All those things, that little temptation tiger is always stalking. Okay. You can tame the tiger. You can absolutely tame the tiger and have a business, have a life, have relationships that are valuable, that matter, that are growing, that are thriving, because you're going to tame those temptation tigers. So I got to get off here. I love y'all. I want y'all to have a great Tuesday. I'm flying to Georgia here in about 3 hours, and we'll be down there. And I think I'll be in Hartwell Wednesday. I'm flying back to Tennessee on Thursday. Then I think we're coming back for the weekend down there. So love y'all. See you soon. And please, if you need anything, holler at me or Christy. And hope everything's great. Talk to you soon. Be good, be great, and be you. Love y'all. Bye.